Alright, so in this section we are going to learn about GraphQL subscriptions. So let me define it in a one line. What are these GraphQL subscriptions? They are nothing, they are just operation, or I should say a GraphQL subscription is a feature by using which we can establish two-way communication between our client, and that is browser, and a server. So these GraphQL subscription uses WebSocket protocol to achieve this two-way communication functionality. So they don't use HTTP, they uses WebSocket protocol. Okay, so that's what it is in a nutshell. So you'll get more clarity once we will start the coding. Okay, so right now I'm onto the documentation of Apollo server, and I'm reading this, how to implement this. And then I noticed that in this documentation they have documented the stuff, and they are using this library to basically implement WebSockets with GraphQL. Okay, but this library is going to be deprecated, and there is a modern library that is this Graphql-ws. Okay, so we will be using this library Graphql-ws with a Apollo server, okay, to implement this WebSocket with GraphQL. Okay, yep. So we have to set up a Apollo server so that we can start using a subscription, or I should say WebSockets. Okay, yep. So what we have to do is, first of all, we have to switch from Apollo server to Apollo server Express. Okay, yes. We can't use subscriptions with this core Apollo server package. Okay, so we have to switch to Apollo server Express. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, so yeah, so what I'll do is I will install it. Okay, let me stop the server here. We need couple of things. We will install all the things in a one go. So I'll install npm install, and I'll first of all install Apollo server Express, and then we need graphql-ws, and then we need one more thing actually, at the rate. Let me see what is the name of that. Yeah, GraphQL tools schema. We need this also. We need these three things. Okay, yep. So let's install these three things. Okay, now what I can do is I can make changes to this server file, or I should create a new file. I will keep this file for your reference, but I will here create a new file. Let's give it a name of let's say server 2.2. okay, server2.js. So I'll copy all the stuff from here, Control C, and I'll put in my server2.js. okay. So all we have to do here is, first of all, instead of using this Apollo server, here we have to write now Apollo server Express. So what I'll do is I will do a global search wherever I am using Apollo server. I will in my resolver, again here also I have to write Apollo server control space Express and type def. Okay, so we are using it only in two places. So one advantage of using this Apollo server Express package is we can use subscriptions, and also now with GraphQL API we can create our REST APIs as well using Express. Okay, so we need to install Express as well. I actually forgot. Yeah, so we need Express as well. npm install Express. We need this. So one good thing about this package is now you can also implement REST APIs as well. Okay, so you have your GraphQL API as it is, and you can implement REST APIs as well using app.get, again the way we do it in Express. But we won't be doing that. Just I'm telling you that you can do this. Now let's scroll that here documentation. Let's read the documentation of this, how to set up a WebSockets with GraphQL. Okay, so if you scroll all the way to the down, here you will find that a link which shows that how to use this with Apollo server Express. I'll open this and we will read this. Okay, so we have to follow these all stuff here. Okay, so we have to import, first of all, WebSocket server. We have already imported Apollo server. We will import these three things actually. Let me let me copy whole this stuff, Control C, and let me remove all of that or I should keep my context here, or let me comment this actually here, and here let me paste all of that here. Okay, so yep, so let me remove these extra comments here. Okay, and schema, we do not have created any file with the name of this, so schema we can remove. Schema we have to generate it. Okay, that we will do, don't worry on that part. So here we have initialized our express, here we have initialized our Apollo server. Okay, and we have passed schema to it, but we have not created it. Okay, we have to create a schema out of this type def and resolver. Okay, don't worry on that part. And then we are passing apply middleware. Okay, perfect. And yep, and rest of the things we have commented it out. Okay, now here I would like to do a couple of things here. Let me see. So first of all, here to this Apollo server schema, we will create it in a shortly. Here I'll pass something called as context. Okay, context, context also, context, and let me, you know what, this is the context. Okay, this is the context that we have here. So let me copy these for this function, Control C, or I should copy this whole line, Control C, and what I'll do is I will create a context, maybe here, yes, const context, context, and Control V, and let me remove these comments from here. Okay, yep, so we have a context now, that's the function, and we are passing it here to Apollo server. So that's done. Apart from that, we need to create a schema out of this type def and resolvers. Okay, so let's import that. So we have to import, I'll import something from @GraphQL tool/schema, and the name of that is make executable schema. Okay, so we can use this to generate the schema actually. Okay, so here what I'll do is here I'll create const schema, and that will be make executable schema, and here we can pass type def. Okay, you can see we are getting session, and the value of that will be equal to type def. Okay, so key and value both are same, so I can condense it down to just type def, and here we can also pass resolvers, and the value of that will be resolvers. Key value both are same, so I'm just writing it resolvers here like so. Okay, now here see, our GraphQL server will run on this path. Okay, and no, our subscription server will run on this path /GraphQL. That is fine. And protocol will be different. Protocol will be WS instead of HTTP. And our Apollo server, that is GraphQL server, will be running on which path? Here you can give that path also. Let's say if you want your GraphQL to run on a different path, you can provide it, or the default path is GraphQL only. Okay, GraphQL only. If you do not write any path, the default path will be GraphQL only. So earlier it was running on a default route, that is slash. Okay, that is slash, but now it will run on our GraphQL server, or Apollo server will run on this /GraphQL on HTTP protocol. Okay, HTTP or HTTPS. It will run on HTTPS protocol, and this subscription server will run on WS protocol, but on the same path. Okay, yes, so path is same for a subscription server and our GraphQL server, but only protocol will be different. Okay, and here I can basically add a console.log Apollo and subscription server is up. Okay, and yeah, let's save this, and let me now ditch my nodemon server. Okay, let me stop my nodemon server, and here let me open a new terminal here, and what I'll do is I'll type nodemon nodemon, and the name of our file is this time server2.js. Okay, let me run it. Cannot find package ws. Oh, so I was expecting an error. Okay, so let's install this also. npm install ws. Okay, yep. And I think we need to do one more thing. Okay, first let's see if this fixes the issue here. Yep. So express is also not imported. Okay, my bad. This is terrible. Okay, no issues. Let's import express from express. Okay, let's see. Are there any other issues? I am expecting one issue actually. Yeah, I was expecting this. We have to basically, before using uh, this apply middleware, we have to write here Apollo server dot start. That's the syntax that we have to follow, and we have to await it. Then only we have to do this apply middleware stuff. So we have to await it. Yeah. So let's save this, and this should fix the issue. Okay, so let me actually restart. Let me reload this server. Oh, I think I missed A here. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Apollo server is not defined. Okay, let me, kill my server. Okay, we can see it's fixed. Apollo and GraphQL server subscription servers up. So now that we have set up our WebSocket with Apollo server, from the next video onwards, we will start using the subscription. We will leverage subscriptions. That's it for this video. Alright, so now that we have done setting up our Apollo server with WebSockets, now we can start using subscriptions. Okay, so first things first is, first of all, we have to create a schema. So let's go to type and the same way as we have done it for mutation or for query, same thing we have to do with the subscriptions as well. So here we will add a type, and type will be subscription, subscription, and we will have a subscription, and subscription, let's give it a name of maybe message added. Okay, and this subscription, this message subscription will return a new message that is sent, right? So the type of it will be this message that we have, like so. So we have added this message edit subscription. Now we have to resolve it. Okay, so let me copy this message edit, Control C, and now let's go to our resolvers, and let me minimize these things. Let me minimize this query and mutation, and here we have to, this time we have to resolve subscription. Let me see if S is capital SUBSCRIP. Okay, spelling is correct, it seems. So we have to resolve subscription. So here I'll write subscription, and we have to resolve message added subscription, right? Like this. And now this will be again an object. Now here we have to write some line of code. I'll explain you what is the meaning of that line of code in a while, but we have to install a package, one package. So I'll open my terminal here, and we have to install npm install, and that is GraphQL subscription, if I'm not wrong. Let me check the name. Yep, it's GraphQL subscription. Basically this provides us a class that is PubSub class. We have to create an instance of it, so that's why we need this package. I'll hit enter. Okay, so it will install. It's done. So first of all, we have to import something from GraphQL subscription, and we have to import basically PubSub class. Basically the full form, this PubSub stands for publish and subscribe. Yeah, we have to create an instance of it. Const PubSub is equal to new PubSub. Okay, I'll explain you what's the use of it. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'll explain the use of it. Okay, so now from here in this message added, we have to add a property called as subscribe. Okay, subscribe, and that will be a function, and this function returns a async iterator, and that async iterator is provided by this PubSub instance. Okay, so here I'll write PubSub dot asyncIterator. Okay, so subscribe will return this asyncIterator, and in this asyncIterator we have to pass a event. Okay, so we will reuse that event. Okay, we will use that event again in some place, so let me here define that event. Okay, so let's create a constant here, and let me here let's say we can give our event a name of, let's say, maybe message a added. Okay, everything in capital, and the value of that will be we can write in quotes, we can write the same thing in quotes. Okay, this is the name of our event. So yeah, so I can copy this and I can basically pass this to this asyncIterator. Now what is happening here? What is this line of code? Let me explain it. What will happen is, let's say from the client, once we subscribe to this message added, once we subscribe from the client, from the browser, now what this asyncIterator will do, it will sit in our application and it will listen when this event will emit. Okay, it will sit this asyncIterator once the client subscribe to this message added, asyncIterator will sit in our application and it will listen for this event emission, this message added event emission. Once this message added event emits, it will broadcast that to all its subscriber. Whosoever has subscribed to this, it will broadcast this message added event to its subscribers. So this asyncIterator, what it is doing, it's sitting in our application and it's listening when this message added event gets fired. Once the message added event gets fired, it will broadcast that to its subscribers. Okay, so that's the logic of this code in a nutshell. Okay, so you do not have to worry. I know it's tough initially to understand these logics, but that's the syntax that we have to follow here. Okay, yeah, so we have to now emit this event. Okay, yes, so once the event gets emitted, this asyncIterator will broadcast that emitted event to all its subscribers. Okay, so when we have to emit this event, so basically here in this mutation, let me minimize this sign up and sign in user. When we are creating a new message, at that time, before returning it, we can emit a event. Okay, yep, so before returning this message, we can emit an event, and once we emit the event, this asyncIterator will catch it and it will broadcast that to all its subscribers. Okay, so how to emit an event? So basically we can use this PubSub, and then we will be using publish. So we can use publish to emit that event. Okay, to fire that event I should say. So we have to pass a name, so name should be same. That's why we created a constant and defined that name on the top. So name should be same here. We have to fire message added event. Okay, and what data it will have? So it will have object, and the key here should be same. Key here should be same that we are here resolving here. That's the message added, right? So key should be same your subscription to your, so whatever the name you have given to your subscription, in our case we have given message added, that should be the key here in the object. And what it will have, it will have this message, that's newly created message, this data it will have. That's it, we are done on a on our server side. From the next video we will write the code on the client side, and we will subscribe to this subscription, and we will listen for real-time changes. So that's it for this video. Alright, so now let's set up our Apollo client so that we can start using subscriptions on our client side. Okay, yep, so before I go ahead and do that, this time your GraphQL server is running on, you have to change this URL here, right? Our GraphQL server is now this time running on /GraphQL. Okay, that this thing you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, Now you will see something called as subscriptions also here. Yeah, so let's go back to our topic. So we have to set up a Apollo client so that we can start using subscription. So what we will have to do here is we have to install this GraphqL-ws on the client side as well, and yeah, then we can start using it. So let's copy this, Control C, and we have to install it in our client side. uh, this is the client folder here, cmd, and here inside here I'll paste this code and I'll hit enter. Okay, so let it install. Okay, and then and also make sure that you are using let me close these now. You are using Apollo client version, that is 3.5.10. okay, make sure you use same version so that you and I can be on a same page. Yeah, and now we have to import these things. We have to do these things. We have to import these things. Okay, let's go to our index.js file. Let me close this and let's go to our index.js in the client side where it is. Inside the source we have it. Okay, and here we will paste the code that I got from my uh, documentation, and here we have imported two things. Okay, and then here we are creating WSL link, that is basically WebSocket link where our WebSocket is running. So our WebSocket is running on WS protocol, host is same, and the path is GraphQL only here. GraphqL only. Okay, yeah, protocol is only different. Yeah, and then we have set up WSL link, we have to set up HTTP link also. Yeah, so this time we have to create a new instance of it and do it this way. So we will do it this way as the documentation says it to do so. So what I'll do is basically I should copy this whole line of code actually. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, let's copy this whole line of code actually here. Let me get rid of this thing and let me here paste this code, whole line of code. I can get rid of these extra comments here. Okay, I'll tell you what each and every line means. We have imported this HTTP link. Okay, so first of all, HTTP link, it has the URI of our GraphQL server. That's correct. Okay, GraphQL server is running on HTTP protocol and path is /GraphQL. That's perfect. Okay, and our WebSocket is running on same path. It's /GraphQL only protocol is different. Now here, this is split link. What this split link is doing, so we are using a split function that is coming from Apollo client. What it is doing, it's basically what it's doing, it's checking the operation, what operation of a query is. If the operation of query is subscription, okay, then this split link will return WSL link. Else if it's a query or if it's a mutation, in that case it will return HTTP link. Okay, yeah, so that's what this split link is doing for us. So depending on what operation it is, if it's a subscription operation, it will return WSL link, and if it's a other operation, let's say if we are querying data or if we are mutating data, then it will return WSL link. Okay, yeah. So now I can get rid of this HTTP link here. Okay, that we have already defined here on the top, so we do not need this here. So I can remove it here. Okay, from the bottom, and here what I'll do is, first of all, I'll control X my auth link here and I will put it on the top. Okay, and here what I'll do is basically here, instead of writing like this, here I'll return, here I'm returning HTTP link, right? Here what I'll do is here I'll use auth link dot concat, and here then I'll pass HTTP link here like this. Okay, now to this link we can pass a split link like so, this way. Okay, and I think we are done. Yeah, we are done. So that's it. So to this link we have passed split link and we are good to go. There's also a step 5 that is authenticate over WebSocket. That also we can do it, but that's an optional. We have added our own authentication, right? So user will only be able to subscribe if he is logged in, right? So this is optional step. We can do that also we can do, but we will leave it as it is. So I think that's it for this video. So from next video onwards, we can start using subscriptions on a Apollo client. All right, so now let's start using the subscription. Okay, so let me open the components and let me open my chat screen. Okay, so same way how we use query, the same way we use subscription also, use subscription hook also. So we have hook, that is use subscription hook, that we can use here. Okay, so after this use mutation, I'll initialize my use subscription as subs. It will automatically get imported. VS Code will automatically import it from me from Apollo client. And so we have to pass so here inside this GraphQL, here I can create a new file. Let's say subscriptions subscriptions.js. I'll copy some code from here, Control C, and I'll paste it in here, Control V. Let's give this subscription a name of, let's say, message underscore sub. Okay, and what we can do is we can use Apollo Studio, and I can basically create a new tab here, and I will click on this. We have subscriptions. I'll click on here and I'll click on this plus to write the code, and yeah, message added, and we need all these things. So the syntax for subscription is same, right? We have to write subscription, and then we can give a unique name to it, and then what subscription we want. We want to subscribe to message added, right? So that's how. So its syntax is same to query or mutation, right? Okay, so let's copy this, and here let's paste this. Okay. So we have this now, and let's pass this as message underscore sub. Yeah. Okay, and now again this will return us data. Again the same with what returns use query, right? The same, all those things we get in use subscription also. We have data, we have loading, we have error, but we do not need these things. Okay, we only need data, and let's rename this data because we have two variable with the same name. So let's rename this data to let's say sub data, and let's log it. Okay, I should add a if condition. If we have sub data, then please log it. Now see the magic. Okay, now see the magic here. Okay, let's save this, and now let's our React server is running. I will do a restart here because we have done so many major changes. So I'll restart my React server, and I have opened up individual browser. I will here bring my browser here, and I will bring this here. Okay, yeah, so it seems like development server is starting, so let's wait for a few seconds. All right, so here we have our server running now. Okay, let me first inspect it. Okay, I'll open my console here, and I will basically change the position. I'll put it here in bottom, and here I'll open my console here. Okay, yeah, later I'll show you how to inspect the WebSocket as well. Okay, let's chat with, here I am logged in as Suresh. Let's chat with Mukesh. Okay, let me put this window here, and let me here bring my this other browser. Okay, I'll Here also I'll do a quick refresh here. Okay, perfect. Now let's send a message here. Okay, so let's send a message here. So here I'll type hi, or let's say are you there, question mark. Let's send this, and now once I send this, okay, it gets reflected in the UI, but here we are not able to see it on the UI. But if you see on the console, here you can see the event has got emitted and it has the message. So our browser was able to receive this emitted event in real time because we have subscribed to it, right? And then from here, from this window, we created a message. That message went to a Apollo server and event got emitted. Our asyncIterator catches that event and it broadcasted to all its subscribers. Okay, so it broadcasted basically to this browser. So here you can see we have got this message added, event data logged. Now it's easy. Now we just have to update our UI. In fact, we do not need use mutation also. We do not need to update it here also. That I think that it will do. This subscription only it will do it for us. We do not have to update our state once the mutation is completed. Okay, we can use the subscription only to it will automatically update our state. So how it will do is, first of all, here we need on subscription data. Okay, once we receive the data from subscription, once the emitted event is sent to the browser, once we get the data, here we can basically log. We can console.log to see what all things it has. Let's do it. Okay, console.log it first. Okay, yeah, so let's see what it has. Again, what I'll do is basically I'll reload my screen. Okay, yep, it seems like our server has crashed. It seems, yep, I don't know why. Sometimes it's keep on keep on happening. Server is taking a while to restart. All right, it's running now. Okay, let me reload this again. Perfect. Let me open my other window also here. Okay, and let me send another message. Okay, if I send it, and here you can see we have got this these things logged. Okay, client, we have something called as client, and then we have subscription data, and in subscription data we have further data, and there we can access message added. Okay, so here I can get rid of this console.log. Now here what I can do is, from this data I can destructure. Let me see what all things I got. I got subscription data. Okay, let me copy this and let me here destructure subscription data. From subscription data I will destructure data, right? Yeah, and from data I can destructure, let me see, from data I can destructure message added, or I can keep it. I can access message added from the data. Okay, yeah, so here we need to update our state. So now we do not need to update our state using use mutation. I can comment this, or I can copy this. Okay, I will copy this and I will use the same line of code here. Okay, yes, and what we are doing here is let me control Z. We just need this one line of code. Yeah, control C and control V, and here from data we have to access message added. Message added, like so, and this should work. Yeah, perfect. So from the data we are accessing message added and we are updating our state, so it will automatically update the UI also. This also you can keep it, but it's not required, I think so. Let's try it. Okay, let's once verify it. Okay, So console, we do not need it now. Okay, let me reload this. Okay, here you can see he has sent us 3 messages. Suresh, who has sent us? Yeah, I'm logged in as Suresh. Actually, Mukesh has sent us these messages. Okay, so let me reply to it. Yes, I am here. And if I send this, I can see it here, and I should also be able to see it in here also. Okay, so I think I need to reload it first of all. I'll try it one more time. Okay, yes, I'll try it one more time. Okay, save. Okay, if I send this, I can see it on my screen, and let me here see. Yes, you can see we are able to receive it message in a real time. So we have successfully added the real time functionality. Okay, we are able to send and receive messages in real time using GraphQL. All right, this was fun. So next video I'll show you how you can inspect your GraphQL request. So that's it for this one. Alright, so now we are able to send and receive messages in real time. Now I want to pause here, and I want to show you how you can inspect your WebSocket request. Okay, so here in the network tab, click on this WS and just reload this window. Okay, keep your chat screen component open and reload it. Okay, now you will see 2 things. So first one is this WS that is used by React application. So whenever we do a change in our code part, that component re-renders automatically itself, or dev server automatically restarts. So this WebSocket React uses it, and then we have this GraphQL that we are using it. So what happens is in headers, if you can see here, browser starts with the get request, HTTP get request, and then server responds with a switching protocol. So initially the request starts with HTTP get, and then it gets upgraded to WS, that is protocol, WS protocol. Okay, so that's why our server is responding us with switching protocol. But interesting thing to notice here is in messages. So in messages here you can see that we have this type init connection. So here we have 2 colors. So color green, the arrow which has color green, this means that browser has sent a message to server, and arrow which has color red, that means that server has sent us a message. Okay, so here the first message, here you can see we have type connection in it. So basically our browser or our React application is trying to initiate a connection with our server. So once the connection is initiated, our server acknowledges it with a type connection ACK. Server acknowledges it, and then once the server acknowledges it from the browser, what we are doing is we are subscribing to message added event here. Okay, here you can see we have type subscribe, and in this payload here you can see we have this message added. So once the server acknowledges us, then our browser subscribe to that message added subscriptions. Okay, now let's see what happens when I send a new message here. Okay, now if I send a new message here, hi Hitesh, and if I hit enter, now here you can see once the message get created, now server has again responded us, but this time in the type we have next, and the payload we have data this time, and inside this data we have message added, and it has all the details here. Okay, yeah, so this is how you can inspect your WebSocket request. And let's say here if I get logged out, okay, if I click on logout, here you can see that client has said that complete. That means that client wants to stop listening to events now. Okay, yeah, so once we get logged out, our component unmounts, and then we stop listening to the events. So that's how you can inspect your WebSocket. So that's it for this video. We'll continue in the next one.